The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The Living Room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It's currently the 31st of May 2022 here. Well, I can't say here in Trinidad and Tobago. That just somewhere wrong. Is it 31st of May?
Yeah, pretty much everywhere, and
yeah, because depending on the time zone, it might be
right.
1st of June and
in
stuff
some
like.
places it might still be Monday, all kind of thing.
Which part will still be Monday?
Let's move on now. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm really good. It was a long weekend here in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as in the US of A. I think they celebrated Memorial Day yesterday.
Correct, is right.
I'm good. How are you doing?
Long weekend. You know, meetings, recordings. Had a 40th birthday lime that I went to. Yeah, apparently it's not just me. It's my whole year turning the big 4-0.
Well, I would expect that.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, hey, Eloy, do the thing properly.
Oh, okay, cool. First and foremost, let's kick it off as we always do, all right? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, must say thank you to those that went before us, not just our ancestors, because, you know, we celebrated Memorial Day yesterday, as we said. And we speak of the Calanegos and the Tainos, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, because as Shadow said it in his song, and we will continue to echo Columbus line.
Noted.
Sure?
Yeah, right there with you, man.
All right, and also we must say thank you to our brother in music, that's Tony P. And the P this week stands for?
You know, I don't even know if this is offensive or not, but is it okay to say Parata? Would it
You
be?
know what? Just like how a certain local spice had an issue with pig and pork. I'm not too sure what isn't offensive right now.
Yeah, well, that's different. You see, what because it is a significant culinary contribution that has been made to what we identify with as part of Trinidad and Tobago's food culture.
Right.
Indian food is a huge part of our national cuisine.
Right?
Right.
And as you so eloquently brought it into the conversation, we must say, I don't know if to say happy belated or what, but you know, yesterday we would have celebrated Arrival Day in Trinidad and Tobago. And yeah.
So just want to acknowledge that we couldn't be who we are without who you are. Trinidad and Tobago is cosmopolitan. It is a melting pot, and is a melting pot of many, many significant and beautiful ingredients. And I want to extend sincere greetings and appreciation to our East Indian community for making Trinidad and Tobago such a diverse nation and for enriching our culture, because a lot of people don't even understand that music as we know it locally, all the claims we have to soca and calypso and that type of thing, if it wasn't for the Indian influence, it wouldn't be what it is. Wouldn't be what it is.
Very true, because if all the conversations that I would have had, not just with Kenny, but all other cultural stalwarts, they speak of the influence of what we would now call chutney and the mixing with the tabla. Right?
Yeah, if Rashid come out and say, listen, this is this blend of music, this is this blend of expression, I can't take away from that.
Exactly. And we are thankful for it.
Yeah.
Right. You know, it's a while, and we started to allude to the question before we got into the formalities, Ricardo. And I just want to continue asking the question because you were saying that the persons who are closest to you in terms of the age all turning 40, and I don't understand how you didn't know that, seeing that all of y'all would have left school around the same time, shared birthdays, which were akin to each other.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing about it is, Aaron, that turning 40 is significant for men, right? In terms of being a milestone, in terms of you're closer to retirement than you might have been to when you start working. Or at least you hit the halfway mark. Right? Let me say you start working around 20 and you're retiring at 60. You're at a halfway point where now you have to, the decisions that you're making going forward are in preparation for the quality of life that you're going to try to live out. Is a time where a lot of people start over or make adjustments. This is where the theoretical midlife crisis usually occurs. Yeah. This is where you start to see them fellas who aging gracefully and becoming distinguished, or you're seeing these fellas who holding on to the young boy, saga boy thing too long. You know, it's a big deal. And to be reminded that, listen, I'm not the only individual who was going through the mental process and the social processes, but, you know, my peers are also navigating growing up.
Yeah.
You know, at 40, you are no longer in any form of fashion a youth.
You know what actually stuck out to me during your statement just now, Ricardo?
My element. Anyway, go on.
Not at all. The fact that some of us would have started working at the age of 20, which would mean that by the age 60, where we would want to retire, we would have been working for 2/3 of our life.
Yep.
And the sad reality is some of us would have nothing to show when we hit that milestone.
Yep.
And, you know, this weekend I went to church, right, with my grandmother and aunts, and the priest's message during his homily was about what do you want life to look like, the afterlife. And hearing that, it I wouldn't say it tied in perfectly, but it really puts into perspective that homily on Sunday morning. What do you want the life that you're preparing for at retirement to look like?
Yeah.
Because we all look at it as, you know, I want to be rich, or
right.
I want to travel the world when I retire. But the reality is, as we started speaking of last week, the world around us is changing so much. I see persons this week they were saying outside nice, but in truth and in fact, outside expensive.
What is the definition of outside nice, Aaron?
I have no clue because I spent the majority of my weekend at home or with family.
Yeah,
you know,
even in my friend's 40th celebration, it was a nice, intimate, mellow setting, and as far as I know, he wanted it even more mellow and intimate. It's like a lot of my peers want to celebrate the 40, not with a massive celebration, but with a quiet recognition. We don't need 50 away partners in the mix. We cool with the 5. You know, but
when I reach 40, God spare my life, I want 7 people there.
7. Me and 6.
Yeah, you know why I want 7? Because I too all for stable.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. You might want to play 2 games of all fours, you know, with your peers, your friends, your inner circle. But the people in your life will want to celebrate you, and it's going to be, and they want to hear about no cats knocking. Right? They will want something a little more, something with a little more recognition to the contributions you've made to their lives.
You know, this week I had a very interesting conversation with a friend of mine, and it was surrounding a statement that a mutual friend of ours makes, Ricardo.
You are real friends, right?
Yeah. This mutual friend of ours would always say that when you're in a relationship or you're married, your significant other has 2 birthdays for the year, yours and hers.
Right.
Yeah. So I understand where you're coming from with that statement that certain people may want to celebrate you, If you may just want, the typical night where your boys come and they play cards and that is that. So I do understand that.
A nice scotch or something like that. Well, in my case, I would have like a nice little white oak.
A 40 aged white oak.
Well, I have no bottle of rum lasting 40 years. I'm just putting it out there. But yeah, it was, and it's interesting, to see it because, especially considering the climate that we've been in, I think less is more starting to have a greater significance to a lot of people. Not everybody, but to a lot of people.
Not when it comes to food.
No, no. Nobody playing with the catering here.
Food is food.
Nobody playing with the catering.
It's a very nice start to tonight's program because Ricardo, as you openly admitted earlier this year, you did hit the milestone of 40, and that's a lovely milestone to hit.
Thank God for
because it really puts into perspective life's journey. As you say, for some persons it's a midlife crisis, but for others it's a celebration, a point of celebration to acknowledge how far you are along on that journey called life, and probably put you in a space of where you want to continue to go.
I mean, there's an opportunity for course correction. There's an opportunity for, patting yourself on the back and saying, I could do this. Is an opportunity to...
Good job, Aaron.
Yeah, good job, Aaron. There's an opportunity to re-examine. And what the thing I definitely want to acknowledge, though, is that there are a lot of people who didn't reach a milestone. There are a lot of people who, as much as you're saying, I want to do nothing for my birthday, you have no guarantee you have a next one.
Exactly.
Right? It's just, as I always close with, the hourglass is opaque and we don't know how much time remains. So I acknowledge that it is important to celebrate life. The way the celebration happens is up for debate, but it is important to celebrate life.
You say that, Ricardo, when it comes to the statement that the younger generation makes, YOLO comes to mind. And it really puts you in a space where it's like, do you really go over the top every day to celebrate life? Or do you really... What?
As I know?
No? Oh, okay, cool. Or is it that you choose that special occasion, but that special occasion may not be guaranteed because tomorrow is promised to no one?
Yeah.
So it's really a very ticklish balance that you have to reach in your life where you choose to celebrate, but at the same time, you also plan for tomorrow.
Aaron, let me be practical about it. Let me examine the English language for a second, right? We're looking at the word checkpoint, or we're using it as a milestone. The fact remains is if you're going up the highway, right, and every foot, every yard, every 100 yards, they have a sign or a stone marking how far you travel, right? Sooner or later, it starts to lose significance.
Right.
You'll have to start to examine each and every one to see what significance it actually have in terms of what it is it's trying to tell you. If every day is a celebration, well then, what are you celebrating? A celebration is supposed to be an excitation point. It's supposed to be a recognition point.
Yeah, life, dog.
Yeah. And you know what? You could enjoy life, you could celebrate life, but it can be more party than process.
Party than purpose.
But that's a better word. It can be more party than purpose.
Yeah, and I get you. And I'm not saying in no way, form, or fashion that you need to celebrate every day like it's your last. What I'm saying is that you need to be thankful for every day. When you awake each morning, you tell God, or by whichever name you call him, thanks for life.
Let's call him Father.
Abba. I know that was coming. I know,
don't know me, know he. You don't need to know me, know he.
No, I know you was going to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, we say thanks for life. And as we always say, well, inside the living room or when I'm on Sweet Soca Saturdays, I always thank God for life because there's no specific time you should ever not say thanks.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Correct, is right. And as we get into tonight's program in terms of hanging our hats and wiping our feet, I would like firstly to hang my hat on two young gentlemen, the Jessup brothers. This weekend, they had the hard launch for their sneaker.
Right.
right? Total local sneakers called Classics. We want to celebrate them for that because we always speak of supporting local. And I think I need to get myself a pair of those shoes.
Nicely.
So Kyle, I know you're listening. Make the link now and we'll go from there.
Yeah. That is good. That is definitely good. In terms of local manufacturing and businesses and that type of thing, you know, I have a soft spot for startups and small business and that type of thing.
Another thing I want to hang my hat on is and I'll openly say it, to the event which took place at Brian Lara over the weekend, back on the road. They saw the complaints of the residents, and I will say at a point I drove past the Brian Lara Stadium on Sunday afternoon, and I did not hear a sound.
All right. Well, there were points where the music was audible, but it was nowhere near what that dotishness was a couple weeks ago.
Jamishness.
Oh, apologies. Slip of the tongue.
Right. What would you like to hang your hat up?
Yeah, I want to hang my hat, strangely enough, but very, very happily so, to the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago, who in collective uproar at the manner in which the young man, the Chow King, was handled. It wasn't just a case of, well, yes, while the youth man may not have been in the right, there was an opportunity for correction. It did not have to be discipline, but there was an opportunity for correction. However, in the police executing the duties as they were legally bound to do so, it created an opportunity for people to see that there was not just a better way to do this, but we could facilitate it. And there has been an outpouring of support and encouragement in terms of assisting the young man with the education, in terms of properly establishing his business, in terms of they found venues that would have been made available to him. They were willing to support the re-establishment of his business via contributions to his overheads.
His brand.
Right? Products and in terms of the products, the raw materials we would have needed, etc. So I've seen that people didn't just all too wicked and post and share, but people actually reach out and help the youth man to get back up. It was a beautiful opportunity for a redemption story. Right? So to the people who put the money and the time and the resources where the mouth were to help the Chow King.
Yeah.
That's my neighbor getting on, so? Anyway.
Well, I was hearing something and I thought it was by me. And I live alone, so I was scared.
Anyway. You and this living alone thing. Anyway, we'll leave your business one side. But yeah, that's my thing. That we as a society, we didn't just share and complain, right? But there was an actual move to assist.
Yeah.
Right. I also want to. I starting to see social media being used in some very positive ways. You know, the parrot, Gruff. Right. Gruff is a parrot or macaw? Anyway, so Gruff, a celebrity parrot, celebrity bird, a celebrity tropical bird.
Yeah, right.
Right, that flies alongside vehicles as they're driving on the highway. Someone took the bird, and when people asked that the bird be released and returned, because it was more than just another bird. It was something that people started to develop a collective experience around it, that you drive in and this bird would just come and fly alongside your window, and it was just nice that it was returned. It was nice that the manner in which the owner treated the situation, no anger, no vitriol. They just asked very, very respectfully that even the people who were sharing the post and thing did not come at the person who took the bird, because they were using the opportunity to spread love. It was an opportunity to bring back our bird, because a lot of people, you know, were filming and recording and sharing their experiences with Gruff. Right? So it's just it was just handled very, very well, very maturely. And in terms of the 3 Ps that are trying to practice, it was handled patiently, prayerfully, and peacefully. So I just want to acknowledge that social media has not just been the bad news. I've seen it being used quite positively.
For good as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like all of a sudden, all the noises started to make noise. See what I mean?
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
Scrap iron, buying old battery, buying.
That's what's going on there?
I don't know. It just all of a sudden noisy. Anyhow, also in hand, my heart, Real Madrid fans that I know, congratulations on winning another Champions League title.
Yes. Yeah, congratulations. I'll be honest with you, Aaron. I losing interest in sports, you know.
Serious?
I losing interest in sports. It's no longer about the competition between the players on the field. A lot of the times you're starting to see too much outside influence impacting what's supposed to be a relaxing scenario. And I kind of want to segue, while acknowledging congratulations to Real Madrid and Liverpool for reaching the finals and for Real Madrid winning. Yeah, there was some ruckus to get into the stadium because fans arrived late.
Some ruckus?
I mean, the police tear gas.
Okay.
There were reports of people tear gas fans trying to get into the stadium and that type of thing. And then even within the game itself, there was a disputable call, an offside call, right? And it was just a reminder that a lot of sport is no longer what happens within the arena of competition. There's so many outside influences. There are so many things that just add narrative that could take away from these fellas actually performing on the field. And sometimes it just feels like it's more work and headache than actual entertainment. But I definitely want to acknowledge Real Madrid for being the 14-time winners of the Cup. We wouldn't talk about the political history that led to a number of those early wins. We will acknowledge what they've done this season. Right? And this season, they've beaten 3 of the EPL's top teams. They've beaten they beat champions. They beat the they beat who they had to beat.
You're saying 3 of the EPL's top teams. I must pass on commiserations to Liverpool, who only lost 3 games this season.
Yeah, but what's your 3?
Yeah, the 3 that mattered.
Yeah,
just saying, you know.
Yeah.
No subtle digs at them or anything, because I can't talk about any football side saying that I support Manchester United. But yeah, we was just losing for fun. Liverpool lost when it mattered.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but also again opportunity for improvement.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's another occasion which took place over this weekend when it comes to sports, and that was the IPL 2022 title that was won by the Gujarat Titans. Their first year in the competition.
All right.
I want to take a moment and shine a light on Mr. Hardik Pandya. That man exudes calmness. I think he stood with Mahendra Singh Dhoni, looked at how he handles tough situations, and multiplied that by 10.
Wow. Yeah, he is a pretty cool cat. Yeah. I started watching the game and then I can't remember what happened and I get distracted. But yeah, I missed the final.
Which is strange, and I know you're an avid cricket fan.
Yeah, as I tell you, I kind of again, I don't know what it is.
I know you were up at 5 this morning, probably looking at the West Indies game.
No, I wasn't.
Cool.
Yeah, I was still waiting for a partner who tell me he's swinging for my first to go and watch a game, to go and watch one of the days.
Well, boy, here now, I was so excited to go and watch one of those days that I didn't make it.
You're blighted.
And the game finished in 3 days.
You're blighted.
But I think Leeward Islands is playing this week in the Brian Lara Stadium, so I think we could try to make a day and head there. All right?
So you can make it work, man.
Last week, Ricardo, we started to talk about the dark side of the world that we live in terms of the price gouging and capitalism and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And someone pointed out to me also in terms of that, the cost of housing, purchasing houses as well as rent,
mm-hmm.
and how exorbitant it is.
Yeah.
No, that's a conversation that I think we need to get someone in the home real estate field to come in and discuss with us.
Okay.
Because
I thought you got to see the Ministry of Housing. I'm not going to tell you.
No, well, because, no.
But I bring the NLCB.
Yeah, because I will admit, even the cost of an HDC house has grown astronomically
Mm-hmm.
over the past 5 to 10 years. Because I know of units within certain areas that costed $235,000, and now the average cost of a HDC house is somewhere around 1.4.
Anyway,
and that's subsidized housing. So imagine what the real market is like.
What is the real market? Anyway, you know what? Cool. We'll get the professionals to come in, and we'll have a discussion about it. But prior to that, Aaron, I would like us, as we were already talking about the course correction and that type of thing, I want us to invest a couple episodes looking at what is going on with the gender-based and domestic violence in Trinidad and Tobago.
Not a problem.
If we could get a couple professionals from different arenas, we could look at this thing from a few angles, because we haven't had a themed series since we did the culture episodes. And you know, prior to that, we'd been doing things like men's health, mental health. We had a couple conversations on the domestic violence and that type of thing already. We've had conversations on several
gender-based violence as well.
Several issues.
But I see no issue with that, because it's something that's happening not just locally but across the world as well. And I hate to bring this into the equation and the conversation now. But there was an incident which took place last week
in Uvalde, Texas.
Right? So it hurts me down to my core when the instances like this happen. And what hurts me even more is the fact that I'm looking at the headlines. They try to palm it off that the person, the party that did the act, he was subject to bullying, and trying to paint him as the quote-unquote victim. But what, for me, is the victim in this scenario is the fact that the ease at which he was able to access a firearm.
I just want to acknowledge the severity of that tragedy. My prayers go out not just for the families, but for that nation, brother man. More mass shootings than it have days for the year,
Right. You see the listing for May?
Anyway.
You see the listing of mass shootings for May in the United States of America? You know, I think you should put that up. I don't know what side I'm on.
Next side. Yeah.
You should put that up right here.
Because a nice little corner there.
Yeah. Because it's alarming. And you know what else is pretty hypocritical and duplicitous for me, Ricardo? Is the speed at which that nation continues to put out travel advisories. Amnesty
International actually put out a travel advisory warning people about the risk of traveling to the States. And I put that one in the next side. I gotta put that one big in the middle. Yeah. I'll put it up. So I will acknowledge, and this is there's not a now thing. This is a thing that has been happening over the years, but I've definitely tried to see that what we saw over the past couple of years in terms of this pandemic was the mosquito, not the malaria. The fallout of the last 2 years going to be problematic. It already starting to exhibit the types of problems. I believe that we are headed for mental health and a mental health crisis that will express itself in violence that we had not seen before.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it. You're seeing it. The types of things that are happening and the frequency with which they are happening suggests that something has changed. I'm not saying that they weren't happening before, but I'm speaking about the frequency and almost the level of normalcy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as a man, I like to put prayer in thing, but I also believe we have to start to apply we have to start addressing the issues and trying to apply some solutions.
Yeah. We always speak of the importance of accessing mental health care. And recently I've been advocating for those who may not be able to financially afford it via utilizing the Find the Care TT portal. But it's a time where we also need to understand the balance between using and abusing substances. Because I am seeing a lot of persons utilizing grass, for want of better words, but it's inhibiting their ability to perform and process information. I'm seeing a lot of persons sitting at the bars, but now it's probably making there's an upsurge in domestic violence cases. We have to understand that for you to get past the feeling, you have to understand how you feel first. And sometimes you need professional help to get you to understanding how you feel.
Yeah, well, I've made reference before to the shadow pandemic, which was increase in domestic violence and gender-based violence while people were in lockdown, and particularly while women were denied the rights to, well, not the rights, but were denied the opportunities to earn, and it put them in further dependency, and it definitely exposed the people who were most at risk in terms of women and children, because a lot of the hospitality and that type of thing, a lot of caretaking and the types of domestic workers were generally women, right? So being you're in a situation where you have less income, you're stuck in the house with somebody who is most likely to become your abuser or would have a history of being your abuser. And it got bad. It got really, really bad. There's no, what we're talking about, our upsurge, that was just a tide that was rising anyway. And we end up getting a swell over the past 2 years. So even now, you're starting to see that even though conditions changing, there might be some behavior that has already set. Right? We also have to acknowledge the number of divorces and that type of thing. Child abandonment and negligence that coming up. All of these things related,
I like how you brought up the child abandonment, Ricardo, because recently we have also seen an upsurge in the amount of abuse reported at homes for children.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get into that too heavily because of the sensitivity of the nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really disheartening to see that these are the places where children have to turn to seek refuge, but yet still are in uncomfortable situations.
In uncomfortable situations, yes. Anyway, it's a better term than saying systemic abuse.
Yeah. Because we all know how much I talk about systematic reform being our way out of the situation that we are in. But I also have to acknowledge that the system is made up of persons and individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And
who still make choices.
Mm-hmm. And despite the fact that I would be in a position to affect change, sometimes I might make it worse.
Remember last year when we did the Inquisitive Minds episode with Prime Minister Fadi, I spoke about how some of these state facilities and how some of these halfway homes, etc., how they were pipelines.
Yeah.
There were pipelines for churning out a citizenry that ill-equipped to function independently, having been on state support and in state institutions for that long.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I say, and I said it last week, We sleeping in the bed we made.
You know, my favorite S word in Trinidad and Tobago is subsidy. And we are so dependent.
Mine is Sahina actually, but go on.
Yours is Sahina, really?
And you have Aaron. Anyway, yeah, I can like you don't know.
Well, shucks, I forget. My bad. I had a moment there.
Yeah.
The subsidies, my bad. I got distracted after it's about food. I'm real hungry.
It is time of the night you're supposed to be having dinner, Aaron.
Really? You eat after 6? After 40? Anyhow.
Yes.
Anyway, this is your morning time. So, yeah.
Stop judging people, Aaron. Finish your point.
Right. So, you know how much my favorite word in our country is subsidy. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot of subsidies here. We need to break that dependence on the government in all forms and fashions. Because we can't talk about the government malperforming and mismanaging and things like that, but yet still be benefiting from it. I will say it again. When 80-something% of your budget is recurrent expenditure, something is wrong.
And I will say it again. Our systems are not run by programs and robots. Our leaders, our servants, our politicians, our nurses, doctors, teachers, our mechanics, our drivers, our policemen and army men and Coast Guard and optometrists, anybody. The fact remains is people doing this.
Yes, it's all us now.
This is how we could blame who on what you want, but it is made up of us's.
You know, I don't even think we could find a video.
Oh.
But the song comes to mind every time I hear this. Wendell Goodrich, Who to Blame?
Yeah, I feel we can finish with I feel this episode I want to finish with 2 songs.
2 songs? No problem.
Yeah, 2 songs.
Well, if you find a video for that song, you're relevant.
Well, then it might be 1 song and a karaoke. But that's
karaoke?
Yeah, I might sing it. You could sing it. I know you're waiting to make your debut a while now. So you can send my voice note. One verse and chorus. Don't look the Kennedy thing and come with no 5 verse.
But that song?
So the premise is this is us.
Yeah, it's all us. And despite what a lot of persons are saying, that the current government is not of us. The selection didn't come from us. Come on.
All of them are passport. All of them are birth papers.
Come on. Stop looking.
They went to school here.
Thank you. They are citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, just like you and I. But the difference is they have put themselves in the positions of leadership and put themselves forward, as options
put
for that
themselves
position of
forward.
leadership.
I taken that.
But
so
yet still, you and I...
You're going? You're going up?
Yet still, you and I continue to sit in the doldrums. And we sit in the doldrums.
What are you calling the doldrums?
Because we would sit in our galleries, we would sit by the bar, we would sit by the restaurant or the lounge and quarrel about the position that the Minister of Finance has us in.
Right.
Or that the CEO of a company has us in. Or that your councillor have you in. Shout out to the mayor of San Fernando for paving Coffee Street finally.
Yeah.
Even though it's still bumpy. PSA, public servants. A lot of people came out to protest on Friday morning. It's a lot of people. 2% of them.
Wow, I never going on that road. What I am saying, it is interesting to see that there's some action. That it wasn't just talk, click and share, and it wasn't just rab and riri, but people were willing to get up.
You know, the reason why I said the 2%, Ricardo, is because I was happy to see a percentage of them come out. But if you really look at it, the government of Trinidad and Tobago is the largest employer in our country. It have no way. That is a significant portion of that employment.
I hear you, but I'm also
While I'm
going
happy to see.
You declared yourself to be a public servant last week. Were you there?
This week I was not able to do that, so I was exhibiting flu-like symptoms, so I did not go anywhere.
Okay. But you weren't. You were not there. There's a very real possibility that the people who were not present all had equally valid reasons.
Not a problem.
That's my point.
All right, I can take that.
Yeah, that glass house in, you better come out.
I'll put there's somebody I wanna bash this week. And as much kudos, bash, as I gave kudos to the mayor for paving Coffee Street and Royal Road, I also want to take a quick snap at the municipal police. If I get my car wrecked in Sando, and they take it across the Pointe-a-Pierre Road, firstly, the heart-breaking moment of going to look for your car and the car not there.
Right.
Secondly, when I reach Pointe-a-Pierre Road, only then and there, telling me I need to go back to Peniton Street to make a payment to come back to Pointe-a-Pierre Road with the receipt. If that $500 is the last that I have, you had to take $488, you know. You had to take $6 to reach Pointe-a-Pierre Road, and then I had to go back Sando to come back Pointe-a-Pierre.
Well, then you don't bust up that that $6 so much time already. It's almost as if they have an agreement with Wrong the Tongue Taxi and Gasparilla cars. What is only telling me why that? This is why we ranked where we ranked in terms of the ease of doing business.
125th.
Right?
No, sorry, 105th.
105th. Right? You come on, man. Anyway, you know what? I totally agree with you. That is the kind of rubbish where we just have people in a line to reach up by our desk for you to tell them that they were supposed to go in some other line, and then I had to go to the back of that line to go and get a stamp to come back to the same desk that I was on. Anyway, this nonsense has to stop. I recently saw an article about the young man who founded WePay explaining why it is he moved the headquarters from Trinidad.
I saw that this weekend.
Right?
Ease of doing business, right?
Come on, man. Listen, as Aaron has pointed out several times, ladies and gentlemen, our human resource is one of our greatest assets, and we are wasting it. We are condescending, and we are outright ostracizing the people who are willing to make contributions to this society.
That is why the Autobots and the Decepticons will come and take us over.
Yeah, we're Shia LaBeouf and Mark Wahlberg, right?
Sorry.
No, I
watched Transformers this weekend.
Better, I watched one last week actually. What I'm saying is better Transformers from our party, because they are kind of change we need here. It's right. There are nothing easy to do here, you know, except maybe buy street food. Because you know what? You just collect and you just pay. And you just leave with what it is you come for. Everything else you're trying to do in Trinidad is 3 and 4 different. Anytime you have a system for things in Trinidad, it becomes cumbersome. You had to go here to get a stamp, and then you had to get his form and carry it by this place, and then you had to carry it back here to get this sign with that, because that person at that desk didn't tell you that this is what it is you needed. And based on who work in the shift, different things permissible. Our standard operating procedures are based on, well, that is how they train, man. Listen. Anyway, I'm not going on that route. I'm not going on that route today. No, I'm not going on that route. Sorry.
You sure?
I good.
No, well, you see, they always say that it's open to interpretation. But if you're not supposed to park on 8 meters away from the corner, why not park a mark? So I would know what 8 meters is.
Yeah, but the park mark 4 years ago, and it had a mark there, and you were supposed to know that it was there because your license said that you're from this area.
Well,
or they will point at the faintly remaining indicator that there may have been paint on that spot once.
You know, it's the messed up thing. That just brings me back to something that continues to irk me in this country: our lack of maintenance. This weekend, I was watching the under-20 football, the Tiger Tanks football.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at the seats in the stadium across our country. And the stadium that was just built and erected for the 2001 Under-17 World Cup. And them seats looking like if they're since 1964.
I mean, admittedly, Aaron, 21 years of exposure to the elements. I'm just saying, it wasn't right day that it was built. It's not exactly brand spanking new, or even a 2 or 3 years old. This is 2 decades you're talking about. But I get your point. Right. I don't even know if Maniram John open.
I don't think so.
I'm missing my walking community, right?
Serious?
I'm telling you, dozens to sometimes, I don't want to exaggerate, but I'm pretty certain there were times I'd had over 100, more than 100 people just walking in the park.
It's a shame that you don't see that much people walking in Skinner Park.
It's a shame that you're using that microphone like a cobweb broom.
Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. I really wanted that to be inaudible.
Oh, okay.
So
Well
did it
played.
work?
Yeah, I ain't gonna raise the volume. I believe it where it is. When Kenny had a quarrel, I gotta see what it is. Why?
Yeah, because I wanted it inaudible that we underutilizing the facilities that people quarrel is for specific use in our country.
You're under maintaining and underutilizing. So
Now
what
we
you
just
get?
talking about underutilizing here.
Wastage.
Oh, we have plenty of that.
Hey, kudos to that private company that brought in the plastic recycling, the plastic bottle collection. A little container thing where you get 5 cents for every plastic
Serious?
sweet drink bottle that you
Water bottle.
sweet drink and water bottle, yeah.
Boy,
Right,
I'll be
so-
rich.
Well, you had thing put on.
I have probably about $20 right on the backseat of my car.
Cool. Wait, but Aaron, you know what? Don't do me that. So why you don't have a glass bottle? You just refill, Aaron. Come now, man. Aaron.
We are getting perilously close to 7 p.m. here in Trinidad. So
going on here,
I
boy?
don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked on to the True Nation station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are.
Culture crazy.
Yeah.
Well played, sir.
Yeah.
Well played. The only thing you ain't do is put a big hook and pull it. Anyway. Yeah, but you're only real low, Aaron. You laugh when I say I want them.
I'll work on that.
Yeah, and it don't be a glass bottle, You could get a flask or something. Don't do me that. Right? We have to start taking these little measures that by 1.4 billion people.
Not for
Well, alright, a thermos. Get a reusable water bottle. Because I know when you're taking a little sips on work to get yourself through the day. That's why let's be talking to people about substance abuse.
of water.
Yeah, correct is right.
Guys, this Friday, we back at it again with the band Jamboree. Ken and Friends.
Ken and Friends?
Ken and Friends. Ken is not Ken Friend.
Who's Ken? I ain't see the flyer yet.
Not Kenny Friend.
I ain't see the flyer yet.
Neither me.
Okay.
But we know Ken is not Kenny Friend, so Kenny not performing Friday. Most definitely. Can't have that.
Nah, who's Kenny's best friend? You's Kenny's best friend or Desmond?
No. The jury is out, but I know it's not me.
Okay, cool. I think that's the first thing I'm gonna ask him when next I see him. After how is he? I'm gonna ask him who's his best friend. I'm gonna ask him. Because it have hundreds of hours of footage that suggests how much time all of us spent together. Working together, laughing, sharing meals, all kind of thing.
Unfortunately. We have never shared a meal.
I know he just come off camera and go and eat and
and leave me. You do it Friday again or no?
You serious?
Just
you gotta walk with drips when you're going out, right?
How to be, but so Ken and Friends this Friday. Saturday, Sweet Soca Saturdays. I think I'm on at 10 this Saturday.
Yeah, you're covering for somebody, what?
Yeah, I think I'm inside for caption this Saturday.
Hey, how much caption going, man? Cappy, hope all well, good brother.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's about that. And as I always end, I always say that love is the currency. So spend some today. Let somebody know that they love them, guys.
I love you, Aaron. You ain't treated me too good this last couple weeks, but I love you still.
I occasionally love you as well.
You see that thing with all these fleeting feelings. I want to occasionally, Yeah. Despite the fact that you promised my roti at morning. You tell me the night before, I go bring that roti for your lunchtime tomorrow. Bro.
Work anyway.
And say you go bring that roti, boy. But hey, all well and good. Because I discovered a marble on the roti joint.
I find you should take me there first.
You know what? Pass and check me. No. Tuesday night
is Minister 7.
Tuesday night 6:50 p.m. Pass and check me now. We're going by the roti shop.
Organize a song now.
Yeah, let me do the thing. Yo, this is Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage and the local stage. Thanking you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, as I said before, the hourglass is opaque. You don't know how much time remains. So whatever we're doing, be good and stay safe.
Up next, Mr. Desmond with the big band. I think he's back. I think so.
Yeah, nice one.
I know he was in Orlando weekend, so I think he's back.
I'm gonna run a little cultural track or two just to, I acknowledge the weekend we had. I want to happy Memorial Day belated Memorial. I hope you all had a great Memorial Day weekend, right? To our Trini listeners abroad. And just happy belated happy birthday to my goddaughter Mia and to my brother Lando.
Hey.
Yeah, Coach Lando, boy.
Muscles had a birthday?
Yeah, muscles, boy.
Alright, cool.
Yeah. So, like I say, next week, God willing, we'll start our
domestic. Yeah. Right. Good night, Ingrid. Just say like a night to you.
Oh, that was congratulations for her team reaching the finals. No, my gosh, your team reaching the finals.
They didn't even make the playoffs.
Their finals was a good month and a half ago. All right, anyway.
Casper Lakers without her
elbow. I will die all the business.
Peace out, guys. Mr. Desmond's up next.
To make that journey for I to have Zindagi. So it is a great privilege to have such unique heritage. 50% Africa, 50% India. I have joined Judy to holiday, emancipation on arrival day. Since Patel Razak made a journey, 150 years gone already. So whether you're Hindu, Muslim, Christian, let's walk this land hand in hand. We could only prosper if we try. Haji Pai, brotherhood of the boat. Brotherhood of the boat. Kumaye, Zindawe, Kumaye, Zindawe, Ayayo. Kumaye, Zindawe, Kumaye, Zindawe, Ayayo. Kumaye, Zindawe, Kumaye, Zindawe, Ayayo. For those who play in ignorance, talking back to African descendants, if they want to know the truth, they catch him back to Europe. And somewhere on that journey, you go see a man in a dhoti saying he prays in front of a chanty. Then and only then you'll understand what is a cosmopolitan nation. There's no room for prejudice at all. United we stand, divided we fall. So whether you Muslim, Hindu, Christian, just know that in this land we could only prosper if we try. Haji Pai, brotherhood of the boat. Brotherhood of the boat. Indo and Afro-Trinidadian, we should learn to be one. Our ancestors came by boat. Taste the salt water in your throat. You see from and Amanda, my great grandpa and grandmama. One was a slave and one was in Gentia. But the religions of color didn't interfere with their love for each other. Nahi, nahi. I am proof of racial unity, and that is the way everyone should be. Everyone should have each one in their prayer. Let's show each other we care. As we all know, it come in Balhai. Unity is strength. Brotherhood of the boat. Brotherhood of the boat.
La la ba de la ba de la. We all can see a bigger picture. Who to blame? We lack the frame of mind. Polluted by materialism is the hearts of all mankind. All leaders love their position and somewhat placed there to lead. To be held accountable in this time, their judgment is clouded by greed. Fed up of the system entirely, where a purge is needed with urgency. Now the whole world is feeling the pain. Who to blame? Look, hospitals where the children dying, cover up by those who can't take the strain. Investigation always ongoing. Who to blame? Is it the doctor, the lawyer, the pilot flying the plane, the shaman, the cleaner, street dweller lying in the drain, bank teller, port worker, the madman claim to be insane? The children of tomorrow will be asking you, who to blame?